The Coast Guard confirming tonight that debris from the sub found near the wreck of the Titanic is consistent with a catastrophic implosion.
In the depths of the ocean, where mystery and adventure collide, the story of the ill-fated OceanGate submersible Titan submarine unfolds. Join us as we unravel the secrets behind its disappearance and explore the perilous world of deep-sea exploration. The 22-foot carbon fiber and titanium craft called the Titan was deployed by a Canadian expedition ship, the Polar Prince, to travel nearly 13,000 feet down to the shipwreck site on the ocean floor off Newfoundland. OceanGate said recently on its website and on social media that its expedition to the shipwreck was underway, describing the 7-night trip as a chance to step outside of everyday life and discover something truly extraordinary. In addition to one ongoing expedition, the company had planned 2 others for the summer of next year, according to the site. The unique submersible craft that disappeared was owned by OceanGate Expeditions, a company that deploys manned submarines for deep-sea exploration, and has in the past advertised this particular sub's voyages to carry tourists down to the wreckage of the RMS Titanic for $250,000 per seat. Because of the sub's oxygen capacity, it can only be fully submerged for a portion of the week-long voyage. The sub has emergency oxygen and a 96-hour sustainment capability if there's an emergency aboard. OceanGate's deep-sea vessel was said to be the only 5-person submersible in the world with the capabilities to reach the Titanic's depth, nearly 2.5 miles beneath the ocean's surface. The vessel typically carries a pilot, 3 paying guests, and another person described as a content expert by the company. OceanGate's site says the Titan, weighing around 23,000 pounds, has the ability to reach depths of up to 4,000 meters, over 13,000 feet, and has about 96 hours of life support for a crew of 5 people. There were 5 people in the submersible. Stockton Rush, the founder and chief executive of OceanGate Expeditions, which operated the vessel, Hamish Harding, a British businessman and explorer, another British businessman, Shahzada Dawood, and his son, Suleiman, from one of Pakistan's wealthiest families, and Paul Henri Nargeolet, a French maritime expert who had been on more than 35 dives to the Titanic wreck. These men were true explorers who shared a distinct spirit of adventure and a deep passion for exploring and protecting the world's oceans. When a submarine hull collapses, it moves inward at the time required for complete collapse is about 1 millisecond, or 1,000th of a second. A human brain responds instinctually to a stimulus at about 25 milliseconds. The air inside a sub has a fairly high concentration of hydrocarbon vapors. When the hull collapses, the air auto-ignites and an explosion follows the initial rapid implosion. Human bodies incinerate and are turned to ash and dust instantly. As search and rescue teams continue to comb the North Atlantic for a missing submersible that vanished on a trip to the Titanic wreck site, a CBS correspondent also gave some insight as to what might have happened to the vessel. Pogue said the vessel should be bobbing on the ocean's surface, given that features allow it to rise from the depths of the sea without electricity, even if everyone aboard is passed out. But if it isn't floating, only mean 2 things. Either they got snagged on something on the bottom of the sea, which is pretty unlikely. There's nothing there but the Titanic. Or there was a breach in the hull and it instantly imploded. The Coast Guard is leading the search for the vessel about 900 miles east of Cape Cod and around 400 miles southeast of Canada's Newfoundland coast, where it started its dive on Sunday morning. Pogue said, because while the vessel theoretically has 4 days' worth of oxygen, that supply has never been tested. Nobody's ever measured it. That half of the supply is now theoretically gone since Tuesday marked 2 days since the submersible and crew of 5 lost contact on Sunday. Coast Guard said later on Tuesday that the vessel has about 40 hours of breathable air left. Even if the vessel is on the surface, it cannot be opened from the inside, so air supply would still be an issue. No one has ever been inside the vessel for 4 days. An expedition to the Titanic site usually lasts 10 to 12 hours. With about 2.5 hours spent descending to the Titanic wreck and a few hours spent exploring before resurfacing. But things go wrong all the time in this business, and that one attempt he made to see the wreck site last year only lasted 37 feet down before the vessel encountered a mechanical problem and had to be hoisted out of the water. So, the researchers are giving similar reasons of these incidents. Photographing the Titan debris found on the ocean floor and bringing them back to the surface for study in a forensic lab may allow engineers to identify where on the sub's structural integrity was lost, initiating the catastrophic implosion. Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time. We grieve the loss of life and joy they brought to everyone they knew.